Niacin, also known as vitamin B3, plays a central role in the body's ability to convert the carbohydrates we eat into usable energy. While glucose is often considered the body's primary fuel, it cannot power our cells on its own. It needs to go through a series of tightly regulated metabolic steps before its energy can be captured and stored in a form the body can use. This is where niacin becomes essential. Niacin forms the basis of two vital coenzymes, NAD, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, and NADP, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate, both of which are involved in hundreds of biochemical reactions, most of them related to energy production. These coenzymes act like energy couriers, helping to transfer electrons during the breakdown of glucose so that energy can ultimately be stored in the form of ADP, or adenosine triphosphate, the universal energy currency of our cells. When carbohydrates are digested and absorbed, glucose enters the bloodstream and is taken up by cells to be used as fuel. Inside the cell, glucose is first processed through a series of steps called glycolysis. During glycolysis, each glucose molecule is broken down into two molecules of pyruvate, producing a small amount of ADP in the process. Crucially, niacin, via NAD, is involved at multiple points in this pathway, acting as an electron carrier that captures the energy released as glucose is oxidized. Without sufficient NAD, glycolysis slows down and becomes inefficient, limiting the amount of ADP produced and causing metabolic sluggishness. After glycolysis, the pyruvate molecules move into the mitochondria, the powerhouses of the cell, where they are further processed through the citric acid cycle, also known as the Krebs cycle, and then the electron transport chain. In these stages, niacin continues to play a leading role. The NAD coenzyme picks up electrons generated in the citric acid cycle and delivers them to the electron transport chain, where they're used to create a proton gradient across the mitochondrial membrane. This gradient is then used to drive the synthesis of ADP. In fact, the majority of the ADP the body makes, particularly during aerobic metabolism, is generated during this final stage, which is entirely dependent on a steady supply of NAD. Niacin's role doesn't stop at energy production. NADP, its other coenzyme form, is also vital for biosynthetic processes, including the metabolism of fats and the maintenance of healthy DNA. But it is the function of NAD in glucose metabolism that underscores how indispensable niacin is for daily energy. When niacin levels are adequate, the body can smoothly and efficiently convert the energy in carbohydrates into the power needed for every activity, from walking and thinking to breathing and repairing cells. When niacin is deficient, however, this energy system starts to break down. In extreme cases, a deficiency leads to pellagra, a disease characterized by weakness, digestive disturbances, and neurological symptoms, all reflecting the breakdown of energy-dependent systems in the body. Fortunately, niacin is widely available in both animal and plant foods. It is found naturally in meats, poultry, fish, legumes, whole grains, and seeds. Interestingly, the body can also synthesize a small amount of niacin from the amino acid tryptophan, which adds a layer of metabolic flexibility. However, this conversion is not highly efficient, so dietary intake remains important. Choosing whole foods like brown rice, peanuts, sunflower seeds, and lentils not only supports glucose metabolism but also brings along a suite of other nutrients that complement and enhance niacin's activity. What's particularly encouraging about niacin is how it illustrates the body's elegance in managing energy. It is not just a nutrient sitting passively in our food. It is an active participant in the moment-to-moment management of energy production. It helps ensure that every molecule of glucose is used to its fullest potential, that energy is not wasted, and that the cells can perform at their best. The importance of niacin in glucose metabolism reminds us that even the most basic daily functions, like concentration, movement, and maintaining a steady mood, are powered by an invisible team of micronutrients working tirelessly behind the scenes. In this light, niacin is not just another vitamin on a label. It is a key player in a beautifully orchestrated symphony of energy production. By prioritizing foods that are rich in niacin, especially when paired with complex carbohydrates, you are not just eating well, You are actively supporting the inner engine that keeps your body running smoothly, efficiently, and with vitality.